Welcome to FUNC YOU UP, the podcast that gives you the best of functional medicine, nutrition, and wellness in 8 minutes or less.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to FUNC YOU UP. This is Michelle Miller, clinical nutritionist.
And this is Diana Orchant, functional medicine registered dietitian-to.
Today, we are so pleased to have joining with us on our work from home series, Dr. Tiffany, who is one of the chiropractors that joins us at Physio Logic. And we're going to dive into probably the topic that is on our minds all day long without us realizing it, our working from home posture, ergonomics, and really how this could be an issue with affecting our health now that we've been in this quarantine state for so long.
Good morning, everyone. Pleased to be with you guys.
So Dr. Tiffany, just start us off with some of the basics. What does ergonomics even mean? Why does posture even matter? And why can't we just take an Advil and move on with our lives if we're, a little not having the greatest work setup right now?
Excellent question. Well, ergonomics is purely just the science of adjusting your workspace to fit you and no one else. It's definitely worth the time to invest because if bad posture could lead to repetitive stress injuries, and this could really just save you later down the line. Both the organization at the individual level and setting up a comfortable, well-fitted workspace means greater productivity, efficiency, and creativity in the long run.
I think all of us could benefit from that right now. And you're absolutely right. I mean, this is something we're doing every single day. These patterns are repetitive, and we were talking about this before we started recording. Like, I've lost track of what week it is, but it is like we are in this now. And it is, if we don't have a good setup, our whole body is going to be affected by this. So kind of walk me through some of the basics of like what you want everyone to know. How do I set up my ergonomics so that my computer, my screens are all in the right place so that I'm hopefully not doing damage?
All right, so getting your work from home set up is not going to be that hard. So first one is just getting a chair that supports your spinal curves and adjusting the chair so that your feet lay flat on the ground. That's one thing I hear a lot from patients, that they tend to sit with their legs crossed. No, big no.
This while you're talking.
Also, you want to adjust the armrest if you have them on your desk so that your arms are gently resting on them and your shoulders are relaxed. You also want to have your arms in a position where that you're not overreaching for your keyboard. So keeping them slightly flexed, 90 degrees or more, is perfectly fine. For key objects that you commonly use, such as a telephone or whatever you really are just grabbing for, like a stapler or printed materials, keep it close to your desk so you minimize, again, that reaching effect. In regards to the telephone as well, we want to think about, if you're using it frequently, to invest into a headset, so preventing kind of this lateral flex motion and really cranking it into the joints. Another thing is that if you're feeling that your feet aren't close enough to the ground, you could always invest into a footrest. Another thing that you can invest in is a lumbar support pillow, which really helps you maintain that lumbar lordosis. In regards to your monitor, it's best to place it directly in front of you. I know a lot of people have 2 monitors these days, but if you find that you're using one more, keep that in your main focus. And the way to kind of set it up is to make sure that the top of the screen is at about eye level so that you're always gazing down naturally.
Top of the screen is at eye level. Got it. So that the rest of the screen, I see your eyes would be naturally moving down.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that means people,
go ahead, Diana.
So that means that most people probably need like a book or something to prop up their laptop, or a
Yeah, for sure. And another thing, now that you bring that up, is standing desks are excellent to invest in as well, especially that a lot of more corporate offices are encouraging their employees to really work from home. So having a standing desk that you could go from sitting to standing easily would be excellent. Another helpful tip would be that when you're transitioning into a standing desk, to slowly transition it into it. So don't go from 100% sitting down all day to 100% standing all day. So you want to do something gradual, like 90% sitting still, 10% standing, and slowly increase it until it's about 50-50.
Beautiful. Now, would you ever recommend like a do-it-yourself standing desk at home? Like if someone
Sure.
had the perfect, dresser height or something like that, like what could we even be looking for if we were going to try that?
So you could definitely employ boxes, textbooks. I've even used some board games I had laying around to really just put up my laptop a little bit more. Alternatively, there's a lot of good stuff on Amazon now these days. They have laptop stands that a lot of my patients actually have been using prior to the COVID quarantine situation. So even kitchen countertops are another excellent way just to keep on moving throughout the day.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, if you have the proper chair, but maybe then you need to find the right surface height, you can kind of like go around to different surfaces, counters, dressers in the house. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
I even have some patients that like to do work from the coffee table throughout the day. So they'll actually go into that yogi squatting stance and work off the coffee table just to move around, get some mobility, flexibility in throughout the day.
Because what are we risking if we are going all day long without, having the proper posture or ergonomics?
So again, it's really that repetitive stress injury. So if we're constantly in this kind of forward flexed posture or sitting on our tailbones as opposed to our sit bones, we're really putting our muscles and joints in a really bad position where they could get chronically tightened or injured over time. So for example, one common complaint that I always see, especially with people who work in front of a computer most of the time, are headaches. And this a lot of the time is because of muscular dysfunction in this upper quadrant up here. So what happens is that we're so rounded all day, our muscles like the trapezius, the levator become so tight. And then even our pecs over here become tight. And then we lose the ability to utilize our deep neck flexors and even some of those mid-back extensors properly. So what ends up happening is that our joints don't move properly and that the muscles become tight and we feel this achy pain throughout the day. And the muscles can refer upwards from where they originate from. So for example, the trapezius, if it was to become tight over a long period of time, it could actually refer upward like this. And that's actually what we consider a tension headache. So a lot of different things could really happen over time if you don't try to correct them appropriately.
I remember working with you guys years ago, and it was the first time that I really had this awareness that, yes, I knew I was carrying this stress in my shoulders. Yes, I knew it was probably from bad posture, but I didn't realize how the pecs were involved. And it's really unbelievable how, you think something so benign as like sitting a certain way. But really, I mean, as we become more present with our posture, I mean, I find one arm's over here, I'm reaching over here, I'm like this. Diana was talking about this earlier. We have clients that are, waiting until the latest possible moment in the day to wake up, and then they're just grabbing their laptops and signing on and working even from bed. And I just think we have to be careful at this point, these bad habits that are starting to set in. We don't want to spend months kind of trying to recorrect this later on. Once we get some of our freedoms back, we want to feel really good and keep our bodies in kind of tip-top condition.
I totally agree. So as far as from working from bed, that's a hard no. I mean, I also believe it's good to separate kind of that work-home life. So just like that idea of working from bed could just add another layer of stress to your life. And we already know this has been a very stressful year as it's been.
So what are some things that you're recommending that people can do from home to support our bodies, to set up a good at-home workstation?
Yeah, there's a ton of things people could really do to be proactive to kind of prevent themselves to get into this pain cycle. So one thing that I love to tell everyone are Epsom salt baths. They're just amazing in general for stress relief. And the real added bonus is the fact that there's magnesium and that promotes muscle relaxation as well. So again, with the chronic bad posture, it would just really help to alleviate it. Another thing that patients can do or our clients can do is just apply heat to those really tight muscles. Nowadays, they have those nice wraps that you could literally just throw over your neck and sit with it for about 10, 15 minutes. I always have to give you guys a little word of caution not to burn yourself. But yeah, that's totally fine after a long day. And of course, my favorite thing, keep the mobility alive. So stretching every day. I like to do the simple chin retractions, towel extensions, my personal fave, the neck cars. Another excellent one is using a foam roller just to promote that extension in the mid back. As Michelle just mentioned, the pecs are another one that gets really chronically tightened, and doing a simple doorway stretch would actually go a really long way. Another two of my favorites are spine cars and the segmented cat-cow. And don't worry, guys, I have videos coming up for you.
Yeah, so if anyone is not familiar with these terminologies, not to worry. Throughout the week, we're going to be releasing some different videos of Dr. Tiffany showing exactly what she means, how to do it yourself at home. And I mean, how often would you recommend, some of these activities or stretches to be done?
Well, honestly, every patient is different. It really depends on how much you're sitting throughout the day. So it's kind of hard to just give one type of prescription for everyone out there. So I would say you have to really listen to your body. Your body does tell you a lot. So if you're feeling the tightness or that achiness, get up and move. You should always be stretching throughout the day. I mean, yes, we're kind of limited right now in our activities, but a 10-minute stretch goes a long way, 10 minutes, 7 days, 70 minutes of stretching a week. That's pretty good.
So I'm just curious, I mean, you've been, you're now back in the office as we are slowly kind of picking up our hours, but also you were seeing patients remotely during a lot of this quarantine time also. Were these a lot of the conditions that were kind of popping up, or do you see a lot of new conditions popping up because kind of poor posture ergonomics are being used?
Poor posture is not a new condition.
That's a good point, right? Any
It's
environment
something that everyone could everyone could honestly work on their posture. I'm a chiropractor and my posture is not perfect 100% of the time. So not necessarily a new thing that I'm seeing. It's something that's becoming more prominent that people are realizing. I think one reason is because they're not able to go to the gym and do their normal exercises. So it's also taken away from their activity levels. So people are feeling it more now than they were before, I would say.
I appreciate your time so much. I think you really, tuned into some things that we can quickly kind of adapt and change up in our lives and hopefully improve everyone's body. If there were going to be maybe a couple of things, 2 or 3 things you were going to leave our listeners with today, what would you say you just want everyone to remember after listening to this?
Yes, I have 3 important pieces of advice for all of my patients out there. The first one is movement is truly life. So for every 30 minutes that you find yourself not really moving around, I encourage you to mobilize for 5 minutes. So that's 10 minutes per hour, which isn't that much, honestly. That's sometimes I tell my patients just to drink a lot of water so they have to get up and use the bathroom. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes, right? Other things that you could do is promote stretching around your work area in general. So now that we're working from home, this is an excellent way just to throw in your yoga mat in the corner and just get up and move every couple of minutes. Another thing that I want to really encourage is this idea of progressive muscular relaxation. And this just kind of helps with alleviate the already added stress from working at home. So this includes slowly tensioning up the body and then relaxing each muscle in your body. It helps you kind of recognize where your body begins to tense up and have better ability to return to a relaxed state. So one way that we could kind of do this is to start by lying on your back in a comfortable position, and then try to really maximally tense up your toes and then go up the kind of the body chain. So the toes, then going up to the calves, the quads, the glutes, the abs, the chest and shoulders, arms, and even tensing up the jaw and really feeling, okay, everything is completely tensed up, and then holding that for about 15 seconds and then slowly releasing everything. And then throughout this time, you really want to focus also on deep breathing and allowing the tension to really leave your body. And this exercise is especially good for right before bedtime, just to help you relax. The last piece of advice I want to tell everyone is to drink water. I know we always harp on this. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate though. In order for your body to heal properly, it's important to remove toxins. And when we injure ourselves, we could create stress in the body, and this causes an inflammatory response that creates toxins that are initially beneficial but need to be eliminated eventually. So a couple ways that we could do this is really through sweat and by urinating, and the only way that we could really do this is by consuming enough water. If you don't, we're just gonna kind of inhibit our healing abilities and compromise our immune system. So remember, everyone, it's getting hot out there, and to hydrate every day.
Great, thanks, Dr. Tiffany. So to sum that up, we got to move every 30 minutes that we're sitting, move for 5 minutes. Progressively relax your muscles and experience some deep breathing, especially in these more stressful times, and drink a lot of water. Michelle and I harp on this all the time, at least 2 liters of water per day, or at least half your body weight in ounces of water. So if you have any questions or just want to say hi, we'd love to hear from you. You can follow us on Instagram at Physio Logic NYC, or give us an email at funkyouup@physiologicnyc.com.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and big thank you to Dr. Tiffany for sharing your wisdom and helping us get a little bit healthier at home.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys soon.
You've been listening to Funk You Up. Be sure to like, review, and subscribe for more daily tips on living well.